Geico. Over 85 years of savings and service.
Regional foes who know each other all too well meet tonight in Oxford. Number 22 Southern Miss and fourth-ranked Ole Miss see each other for the first time since they met in the Super Regional last year when Ole Miss ended Southern Miss's season. Hi there, welcome up to the broadcast booth. Keith Kessinger, my name's Jake Kamada, and Keith, like I said, Ole Miss ends Southern Miss's season a year ago, so the Golden Eagles have had this one circled on their calendars for a long time.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, and I think we have too. I mean, a midweek game, top 25 opponents, and the last time these two teams saw each other, the winner went to Omaha. Can't get much better than that.
Yeah, let's take a look at these two foes, shall we? And when they collide, it's a lot of fun. And I mean, not just last year's Super Regional, Keith, but look at that, 2021, the Oxford Regional. Ole Miss won that one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Again, two really good baseball programs. Obviously, they meet 2 times each season, and then they've met in the postseason the last 2 years. Ole Miss coming out on top each of those two, and I think we're going to see another good one tonight.
On the mound today for Ole Miss, J.T. Quinn, the freshman hurler. He's been impressive on the mound lately.
Yeah, last week, we saw him against Louisiana Tech. Another really good midweek game, and for 4 1/3, as good as he could be. I mean, literally perfect. His stuff is good. He's got the fastball 92, 94. The sliders are really good pitch. He throws it hard, 86, 87 miles an hour. Maybe a few too many walks in there, but when he's on, he can be really difficult to handle.
He faces a Scott Berry offensive lineup for Southern Miss. Looks like this. And Coach Berry said, great lineup, 1 through 9, but he just wants to see more consistency.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the word. I mean, that is what he told us, is they're hitting a little over 250, and look, we've seen the Southern Miss program. They swing the bat. They won't be 250 at the end of this season, and we'll see if they can get some things rolling tonight.
Defensively for Ole Miss, you're going to see a lot of names and guys that are at least a junior, senior, or a fifth year. It's a lot of veteran guys out there.
Yeah, and a team that through 12 games has made 3 total errors. I mean, there's a lot made about the offense, but boy, that defense has played really, really well.
Absolutely. Take a look at Scott Berry. He's down the third base line. Southern Miss. See his record, 10 wins away from 500 in his career. You see 4-time Coach of the Year in Conference USA, and this is the first year that the Golden Eagles are in the Sun Belt. Another very tough baseball conference, to say the least.
Yeah, veteran head coach. I mean, guys love playing for him. He's fair to everybody, and he's put a quality product year after year. And like you said, first year in the Sun Belt, another good baseball league.
Quinn's ready, deals, and we're off in Oxford. Matthew Etzel at the plate, 280 hitter, leading off for the Golden Eagles. Rolls one to Gonzalez at short. And speaking of veterans, Gonzalez makes the play.
Yeah, actually, that's Leger in the shift. He was playing where the shortstop was, but Leger goes to his left. Makes an awfully good play right there and takes a hit away from Southern Miss.
That brings up Dustin Dickerson.
The shifts aren't fair to play-by-play guys, because you're doing a lot of stuff, and then you look up, and the wrong guy's playing in the wrong spot.
I was
third baseman was standing at shortstop.
Looking at the score sheet, and I didn't see it. And, the one time Mike Bianco, who normally doesn't like to play the shift, Keith, he does.
Yeah, this is really the first season we've seen the shift, and, of course, you got to be calling the games. Get the wrong guy in the first play.
Slapped and through the right side for a base hit for Dickerson. And a 1-out single, 15 hits now for him this season. Southern Miss team that's 8-3 coming into today. 47-19 back in 2022.
It's a lot of wins.
Yeah.
47. It's a lot of good baseball.
Absolutely. 6th straight season for Southern Miss. And they've recorded 40 or more wins in a season. In fact, that's the longest stretch of 40-win seasons in Division I baseball, minus the COVID season, because it was shortened. One down and a runner on first for Tate Parker. Runner breaks, looped down the line. Just foul.
A little hit and run early right there for Southern Miss. Scott Berry goes with the call, and Parker gets a pitch away. His job is just try to put the ball in play somewhere. And I mean, he just misses by a foot or two rather down the right field line, so putting Southern Miss on the board.
Parker steps back in, named ABCA and Rawlings NJCA Division II Player of the Year at Pearl River Community College. Takes one upstairs, 2-1. Actually, teammates with Ole Miss's Cole Tolbert and also fellow Southern Miss teammate Graham Crawford. They won the first ever NJCA Division II national title for Pearl River. Guy that's dealt with a hamstring injury lately, so he's back in the lineup. Quinn's ready. Full count.
Dustin Dickerson over at first base leads the Southern Miss team in stolen bases, 4 for 4. Have to believe on 3-2. He is running right here.
Piece of that one.
He was not running at first. 0 for 1 on the prediction so far tonight.
Southern Miss is 14 and 43 all time in Oxford. Runner breaks, ball 4. Should have waited one more pitch, Keith, and you would have been right.
I was surprised the other time. Again, Scott Berry, an aggressive coach, coaches third base himself. Thought he'd have the runner moving, didn't until the second one. And Quinn, who's walked a few too many guys this season, 9th walk so far early this year, has himself in a bit of a bind here in the top of the first.
This is a Southern Miss offense. It's hitting .256 coming into tonight. First pitch strike to Slade Wilkes, the DH.
Yeah, and those are not numbers you're used to seeing Southern Miss have. They're in a hitter-friendly park. Obviously, the weather typically nice during the baseball season. Wind blows out.
Chases that one.
And as we said in the opening, I don't think you're going to see 256 for too much longer.
And these are two teams that could very well see each other in the region, in another regional for a third consecutive year.
I'm not sure either one of them wants that, but there's no question that has been an easy way for the NCAA to get these two teams together.
Nothing and 2 to Slade Wilkes, hitting cleanup for Southern Miss. .455 hitter, 15 hits. He's gone yard twice. Swing and a miss. And a big second out for the freshman, JT Quinn.
Yeah, the slider is such a good pitch when it's on. And this is that back foot breaking ball, and it's 86 miles an hour. And look at the depth on that slider. Bottom drops out of it. Wilkes swings over the top of it. That's perfectly executed pitch right there by JT Quinn.
JT Quinn had a career high 7 strikeouts against Louisiana Tech in his last midweek start. Threw 4 1/3. He allowed 4 runs. Ole Miss lost that game 6-5.
That's a deceiving line score, though.
It is.
Because it was 4 1/3 with nobody getting on.
Yeah. I was just about to say he retired the first 13 batters. I mean, you and I were up here kind of looking at each other like, did we say it? Do we did we say anything yet?
And it was the slider. I mean, what you just saw right there, the slider was so good last Tuesday until I think he got a little bit tired. The ball got up some on him, and Tech was able to take advantage of it.
Oof. Crowd wanted that one, 2-1.
Certainly Mike Bianco right now, who calls the pitches for Ole Miss, sticking with that breaking ball. JT Quinn wanted it. The crowd wanted it. Peyton was glad it was ball. Gets ahead in the count.
Favorable 3-1 count.
Pato, sorry.
And Carson Pato, right fielder, 205 hitter this season. Runners on the base pass, first and second base. 2 gone for Southern Miss. Full count. Crowd is behind JT Quinn here in the first. Hits him. Bases are loaded. And a great opportunity for Southern Miss to strike first.
We talk about the back foot breaking ball being a strikeout pitch. Well, that's a front foot breaking ball, and actually hit him in the shin. Hold on to it a little bit too long, and Southern Miss certainly an opportunity here with 2 outs, top of the first inning.
And I'm sure this is not the walk Mike Bianco wanted to make in the top half of the first inning. You can see how successful Mike Bianco is. 7 more wins to pass Skip Bertman for second most wins by an SEC coach. He played for Bertman at LSU, and again, probably not the walk he wanted to make this early in the game.
Well, no, he certainly didn't want to end up out there in the top of the first, but I think going out and trying to calm his freshman down, take a deep breath, your stuff's good, trust it, throw it over the plate. I think Southern Miss hit it. Again, we talk about this Ole Miss defense making plays. You really want your pitcher to rely on it. Get the ball, let them put the ball in play, see if they can't make a play. And you look at Mike Bianco, and he and Scott Berry really do have a great deal of respect for each other. It's a really good relationship those two have. A lot of years head-to-head competition, a lot of years recruiting the same players. But I know from speaking to both of those two guys independently, they think a lot of each other.
That's all Mike Bianco did in his pregame radio interview in his dugout earlier, was just raving about the job that Scott Berry has done at Southern Miss. First pitch strike to Blake Johnson, the catcher today, hitting .214. Has 2 RBIs this year. On the ground to third. Leger bobbles it. Goes to second. Has no play. Wow. We just talked about how great this Ole Miss defense is. And
yeah, the ultimate jinx there, because this is not a hard play. I mean, Leger makes this one all the time. Ball comes up, maybe thinking about trying to get to the bag. I think he's clearly going to catch it and run touch third base. And just doesn't catch it. You hate those kind of errors as a defensive player. Sometimes, you know, the ball takes a bad hop and you just can't make the play. That was an easy one for Leger.
that brings up Danny Lynch, the third baseman. Speaking of RBIs, he has 11 ribbies this season. That leads the way for the Golden Eagles. He punches this one to left field, and Alderman's there. Southern Miss, though, strikes first after the error on Leger. Ole Miss grabs the bats.
Targets are on site.
It's all here, as we discussed.
If you're an undercover agent, you need to be undercover.
In position.
And if you want to save by bundling home and car insurance, you need Geico.
In pursuit.
Hey, Seth, getting ready to roll?
Yep, I'm rolling with Verizon. And I got this incredible iPhone 14 Pro on them.
So you got an amazing network and save money doing it.
That's right. Get iPhone 14 Pro, Apple Watch SE, and iPad. All 3 on us. On the network you want. Verizon.
Colby Allen on the mound for Southern Miss. This is his second appearance out on the mound. Should we expect from the freshman Colby Allen? Not a lot there for him so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't thrown much, and obviously when you haven't thrown much and you've given up a run or two, the ERA doesn't look great. But freshman with a good arm. I mean, he's not starting a midweek game for Southern Miss. If he can't throw it, should be fastball 90, 92. Going to throw a breaking ball and a changeup. Certainly key for him to try to get ahead of these Ole Miss hitters today. It's a good offense, and certainly you don't want to fall behind. Have to come in with a hitter's pitch, and we'll see how Colby Allen can handle this lineup.
Faces a Ole Miss lineup. You see Jacob Gonzalez on your screen. He's the Rebels' leadoff hitter. Ethan Groff on deck this inning, and Calvin Harris hitting third. Kemp Alderman in that 4th spot. Anthony Calarco hitting 5th for Ole Miss. TJ McCants in that 6th spot hitting .343. Peyton Chatinier, Will Furness, and Ethan Leger, the 7, 8, 9 batters in this Rebels lineup. 1 through 9, not a lot of breathing room if you're a pitcher for the opposition.
No, we've talked about that every game that we have done, Jake. This is a lineup that right now is just locked in at the plate, hitting over 350 as a team, and there's just no holes, and you just have to pitch well all the way through the lineup, and you got to get them out 3 or 4 times each, and that's been very difficult for the Ole Miss opponents.
352 team batting average. 2nd in the SEC, 4th in the country. First pitch to Gonzalez. 413 hitter this season.
And this is the biggest shift we've seen any team here in Oxford play against Jacob Gonzalez.
And we'll show you this shift here in a moment. Wow, as Gonzalez yanks this one foul, and you can see why the shift is where it is after a swing like that. The shortstop and second baseman are playing in shallow right field. And Lynch, the third baseman, playing where Dickerson, the shortstop, normally is. Tops this one to first. Easy first out. That brings up the red-hot Ethan Groff. And I think if you're Ole Miss and head coach Mike Bianco, you like the top 2 between Gonzalez and Ethan Groff, who both are hitting .413 this season.
A couple 400 hitters at the top of the lineups. Nice way to be able to fill out your lineup card every day. One left-hander, one right-hander. Groff coming off a really big weekend in Minneapolis.
Now the Cambria Classic MVP, he swung 500 all last weekend. He was 7 for 14, had 8 RBIs and a home run, along with 5 runs scored and a double. I'd say that would earn you a Tournament Classic MVP.
If it didn't, somebody else was really good. And this weekend, certainly Ethan Groff, the 8 RBIs. What a huge weekend.
Punches this one in the air to right. Pato drifts. Out number 2. Ole Miss behind 1-0. And bases loaded. Error by Ethan Leger. Looked like a routine ground ball for him at third base. He juggled it. A run came home. Thus the 1-0 lead. Calvin Harris, .391 hitter this season, steps in. And the junior from Iowa sits on that one.
Southern Miss going to shift Harris exactly like we saw Gonzalez. Third baseman Lynch basically playing shortstop, and everybody else on the right side of the infield. There's a good shot. See Creek Robertson, the second baseman, basically playing midfielder out there, halfway out and right. Straight away in the outfield. It's a great shot we got there from our guys.
That's what SEC Plus can provide you, Keith. Multiple camera angles. One and 2 the count. 2 gone for Ole Miss. Allen's ready. And now a full count.
And Kobe Allen wants Calvin Harris to swing at that pitch. That is one, you bounce up there, but that ball's in the strike zone a long time with 2 strikes. Want to get the hitter aggressive, swing over the top of it. Nice job by Harris laying off of it.
Payoff pitch. Pops him up. Might be playable for Johnson, the catcher. Hits the top of the netting and foul ball.
That was about as close to being in play as it could be. I mean, that was at the very edge of the net.
I'm sure if you're Calvin Harris, you're breathing a sigh of relief.
As you're at the plate and you're trying to blow hard. You're trying to blow it foul. Get it further.
And the veteran steps back in. Southern Miss on top 1-0. Inning continues. Calvin Harris, I mean, that's what he is. He's just very disciplined at the plate.
Yeah, it's another good take. I mean, that ball just misses. I mean, it's clearly low, but that is a ball with 2 strikes. You do see a lot of hitters. If you're not seeing the ball well, that's the one you swing and miss at, or you roll over it. When you're seeing it well, you take it, and you end up at first base.
You see Kemp Alderman's numbers? Look at that OPS. Hitting .370 this year. Looks at that one. This is a guy at the plate that it's going to come off the bat at 100+ miles an hour.
Yeah, there's nobody in college baseball hits it harder or more consistently hard than Kemp Alderman. I mean, his exit velocities are really off the chart.
And he's down on the count, 0-2.
There's a lot of hitters in this Ole Miss lineup that scare you. Kemp Alderman actually scares you when you're standing in infield because the ball comes off the bat. It gets on you in a hurry.
Gets away from Johnson. Harris moves up to second. Big turn. But now the tying run in scoring position.
Really not much opportunity for Johnson there to block. He does kind of backhand it instead of maybe trying to smother it some, but the ball landed far enough in front of home plate. Really difficult block. Good shot of Blake Johnson.
In the air to center, very deep. Etzel on the run, makes the play at the wall. The ballpark holds Kemp Alderman. 1-0, Southern Miss on top.
Kids are so expensive, Dad. Now Katie needs braces.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You can save hundreds.
I don't know, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
But I said the exact same thing.
Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I'm his father.
It's not a competition.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Switch to Verizon and get Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. And keep your own phone.
I love that we both got an awesome network and save money doing it. Hey, we're sitting on a sign here.
That's Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line. Verizon.
Gorgeous night in Oxford, 70 degrees. Keith, want to go to the moon?
How about that shot?
That shot is incredible.
It really doesn't look real. That is amazing. And so is 70 degrees, by the way.
Yeah.
First weekend of March, or first week of March. Beautiful night, and there is really a good crowd here for a Tuesday night.
Yeah, students have packed in. And, you know, why not, too? For Southern Miss and Ole Miss, regional teams, right? Regional rivals, I guess you could say. It met in the Super Regional last year, in the Oxford Regional 2 years ago. I should say the Super Regional if I left that part out last year.
Good shot of the crowd. Enjoying the 70-degree weather.
It's cooled off a little bit as Christopher Sargent has a 2-1 count on him. Ropes this one to left. Alderman charging in. 1 up, 1 down. You know, there was smoke in the air too during BP, and kind of affected the air quality a little bit. There were controlled fires going on just nearby.
Controlled burns, and it was not a little bit smoky. It was really smoky during BP, and even really right up until about game time. You can see it certainly cleared off at this point. But you could smell it. Even a little bit difficult to breathe for some people, but they're good now.
Creek Robertson takes a hack at that one. 238 hitter this season. Madison, Mississippi native. Remember stepping out of the car on my way in thinking, what's that what's that smell? But definitely smelled like someone was burning something. Robertson redshirted last year. On a line to center. And Groff settles under it. 2 up, 2 down for Southern Miss here in the second. JT Quinn last inning. Bases were loaded. An error on third baseman Ethan Leger scored a run.
They do a lot of pitches. I think 28 pitches last inning. Opportunity here to have a very efficient top of the second inning.
This is a guy that I'm sure a lot of people are excited to see today. Matthew Etzel, #1 JUCO transfer impact player by D1 baseball. At Panola College, he had .391 in 2 seasons. 2-1.
He might have the best beard of the early season going too. He's
absolutely.
It's impressive.
Down for a base hit. And a 2-out single continues the inning.
Yeah, the shift almost worked. Peyton Chotney almost caught that line drive out in shallow right field. Breaking ball down. It's a good swing by Etzel. Goes down and gets it. Just lets the barrel do the work. Look at Peyton Chotney. Just couldn't quite get there. And that would be frustrating as a hitter. You hit that line drive, surefire base hit, and second baseman catches it standing in the middle of right field.
Yeah, if it weren't for the shift, that would have been a base hit no matter what. Dustin Dickerson singled and scored back in the first inning. So he's 1 for 1. Southern Miss's best hitter last season, hit .320.
Etzel 5 for 6 stolen bases over at first base. 2 outs, 1-run lead. Certainly a time you might be aggressive if you're Scott Berry. Mike Bianco thinking along those lines, calling a couple of pickoffs in a row.
Especially with one of your best batters at the plate.
Try to get that, try to get him in a scoring position with 2 outs. Mike Bianco teams historically do a really good job changing looks, varying holds. A lot of pickoff throws to first, make it difficult to run.
Hard shot foul. Nothing in 2. Second team All-Conference USA last season. How about that? Started in every game during his Golden Eagle career. It's tougher than it looks. I mean, right? 143 games. I mean, guys get banged up all throughout the season.
Yeah, there's no question. Out of those 143, he probably didn't feel perfect every one of those days. Came to the ballpark and probably very happy to see his name in the lineup.
Especially with summer ball, and it's tough to stay healthy in this sport at times. 2-2 count. 2 down and a runner on first. Full count.
Nice job by Dickerson working that count from 0-2. Taking a couple of close pitches and lays off that breaking ball out of the zone. Usually runner will be running at first base here on 3-2.
Gets a piece of that one.
Yeah, that is a quality foul ball. I mean, you're right. I mean, that's strike 3, and you got to figure out a way to put a bat on it. Dickerson reaches out, pokes it foul. You certainly hope if you're hitting that the next pitch is not quite that good.
Another foul ball the other way. He continues to fight.
That was back-to-back sliders on 3-2. It's always kind of that game within the game. What's Mike Bianco going to call here? Is he going to go fastball? Maybe go fastball in? Or does he stick with what probably is Quinn's best pitch, the slider?
Up and in, ball 4. We talked about the walks earlier in the broadcast. That's something that JT Quinn would like to dial back a bit.
And sometimes you don't have a competitive walk where you're just not close. That's a walk you credit the hitter. I mean, that's Dustin Dickerson going from 0-2, taking close pitches, fouling off some good pitches, and then getting a walk. Again, there's a really big difference between 4 balls not close to the zone and that kind of walk. That was a good one. That was a battle that Dickerson just won.
Tate Parker wanted that one. Went for 5 last weekend against his former team, Dallas Baptist. Runner breaks for third. No throw by Harris. So Etzel's in with the stolen base. Runners on the corners with 2 outs.
Yeah, obviously Etzel with the green light, because that's why you don't see Dickerson running. He didn't know Etzel was going to go. Etzel looked like just kind of hopping off, timed that perfectly, and realized if I'm already moving towards third, I'm going to go ahead and get third base. Good base running and certainly good recognition by Dickerson. If I don't get a good enough jump, I don't want to run into that third out at second.
Chases that one. Insurance runs on the base paths. This time Dickerson breaks for second.
Coming in tonight, Southern Miss was 13 for 16 stolen bases. We've seen a couple already here tonight. Not only they run a good bit, they run effectively.
Back up the middle. Gonzalez. Out number 3. Southern Miss, though, up 1-0 on the 4th-ranked Rebels. Starkville, Mississippi native Colby Allen, just a senior in high school at this time last year. He was an all-district performer. But what should we expect from Allen, even though we've seen him already?
Yeah, we saw him on top of the first, and again, the scouting report was that fastball in the low 90s, and a guy that doesn't have anything, that's so overpowering that he can really get behind these hitters, but so he needs to pitch ahead. And a good start in the first inning.
Faces Anthony Calarco. 378 hitters so far this season.
And Southern Miss continues to shift the left-handed Ole Miss hitters.
Ole Miss down 1-0. Stranded Calvin Harris on second base with 2 outs back in the first inning. And like you said, Keith, all the left-handed batters for Ole Miss have seen this shift. Shortstop in shallow right. I should say second baseman, rather.
Yeah, certainly leaving that left side of the infield completely open. I mean, ground ball that side. Clearly, Clarko's going to get a base hit.
Tugs this one to deep right center field. All the way to the wall, looking up, it's gone!
And that is certainly one way to beat the shift. You just hit it over their head and out of the ballpark.
Tie game.
That looks like a fastball right out over the plate. Yeah, that is middle in, up about waist high, and Calarco doesn't miss it. Ball doesn't go up very high, but it goes high enough to get over the right field wall, and Rebels have tied this one at 1. And that scouting report, what did we say? Don't pitch behind these guys. And Allen had done a nice job in the first inning. Immediately falls down 3-1 to Clarko and challenges him, and Clarko wins that battle.
TJ McCants' first at-bat tonight.
So here's a little different variation of the shift this time for Southern Miss. It's 3 infielders on the right side, but the third baseman taking away the bunt on the left side.
Would you expect McCants to lay one down?
Well, they're certainly not the way they're playing this because the third baseman's in, but they don't want to just give him that opportunity to bunt.
Just in case.
So they're making him swing it.
Gosh, if you're the third baseman and you're that close to the to the batter's circle.
You're happy when it's 2 strikes, or you get to move back.
Yeah.
Now he's gone back to basically the shortstop position. It's no fun when you're playing, 75 feet from a hitter and they take a full swing.
Just foul. One and two to McCants. And Ole Miss's sweep up in the Classic up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Maryland, and Nebraska. McCants was 5-13. He also had his first triple of the year. Lets that one be. Into right. Fielded by Robertson.
It's safe to say thus far the shift is working.
Mm-hmm.
That is another 4-hole base hit right there. I mean, that's just a surefire base hit for McCants. Unless, of course, you've got second baseman playing 12 steps into the outfield. Actually, pretty good play by Robertson, by the way. It's not a play you practice a lot. Catching the ball coming off the dirt into the grass like that.
Well, now look what Southern Miss does to Chatinier. 3 infielders on the left side of the infield. Sees that one. They didn't do this for Kemp Alderman, who is also a right-handed batter.
That is correct. They played him pretty straight up in the infield.
Chatinier's numbers this season, hitting .381. Annihilates this pitch. Deep left field. This ball, gone. Rebels take the lead.
Yeah, we said it before. Peyton Chatinier, not physically a big guy, but he does take a big swing. And when he hits it, the ball will leave the ballpark, and that was an absolute no-doubter. Again, fastball right down the middle, not where Allen wants it. And Chatinier knows immediately. A little bat flip, and the Rebels take the lead 2-1 here in the second. That's a pitcher that knew the ballpark wasn't going to hold it. That is not the best feeling.
2 home runs this inning, and Ole Miss takes their first lead. As Will Furness steps in. Texas native. Pretty good start to his collegiate career with those numbers, I'd say.
Yeah, high expectations coming in. Certainly great reputation as a high school hitter. I think Ole Miss expected him to be able to help immediately, and he has not disappointed.
2-1. Two and two. Strike three. Furness got a piece of that one, and it was caught by Johnson. First strikeout of the day for Colby Allen, the freshman.
Yeah, a nice response after the second home run of the inning. Come back, fill it up with some fastballs, and then break off the breaking ball right there with 2 strikes. Furness swings over the top of it. And we're expecting to see a lot of Southern Miss arms tonight. I'm sure Scott Berry and Christian Ostrander, his pitching coach, would love to see Allen get out of this second inning.
Ethan Leger at the plate. Leger, transfer from Delgado Community College, was a NJCA Division I All-American. Counts even. Leger hit a home run up in Minnesota. His first homer as an Ole Miss Rebel. Homered against Minnesota. Strike three call. Allen gets him looking. But the Rebels have used the long ball today to take the lead 2-1.
Yeah, Anthony Calarco gets the fastball down the middle, deposits that one over the fence in right center, and Peyton Chatagnier comes back, hits it over the left field wall, and the Rebels lead 2-1.
Kids are so expensive, Dad. Now Katie needs braces.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
I don't know, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
But I said the exact same thing.
Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I'm his father.
It's not a competition.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Hey, Seth, you getting ready to roll?
Yep, road trip. And now that I'm rolling with Verizon, I get why more people choose it.
Nice.
And I got this incredible iPhone 14 Pro on them.
Oh, love the camera. So you got an amazing network and save money doing it.
That's how I roll. Oh, no.
You like your keys in the car again?
Yeah, I did.
Switch now and get iPhone 14 Pro on us. There's more. You get Apple Watch SE and iPad, all 3 on us. That's a value of up to $1,700. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Get the savings you want on the network you deserve. Verizon.
Southern Miss came into today. They had only allowed 8 home runs, 3rd fewest in the Sun Belt. And in that second inning, 2 home runs for Ole Miss. And now a 2-1 lead for J.T. Quinn to work with, and a big swing and a miss by Slade Wilkes, who's 0 for 1 today. .455 hitter. 2 long balls this season.
At this point, Jake, I think it's easier to say which hitters are not being shifted. I mean, both these two teams are basically shifting every single hitter.
On the ground to second. Chatagnier makes the play.
Yeah, and it makes routine plays like that harder because Chatagnier literally has to sprint at that ball because he's about 10 steps into the outfield grass. Did a nice job coming to get it. But a play that would have been a routine 2 or 3 hopper becomes a much more difficult play when you're playing out in the outfield.
Carson Pato hit by a pitch back in the first inning. See his numbers so far this season on your screen. Southern Miss, too, they're feeling pretty good about themselves after sweeping Dallas Baptist last weekend. They only allowed 6 runs. In fact, DBU hadn't been swept on the road since 2018.
Yeah, another really quality mid-major program. We talked a lot last week with Louisiana Tech in here.
Sky to center. Groff realizes it's a little deeper than he thinks. Back to the track. Kind of settled for a little bit. I don't think he got a good read at it at first.
Talking about Dallas Baptist, by the way, is that mid-major program. And like, the ball just doesn't carry as well here at night. We've already seen a few balls leave the ballpark We've also seen a couple that haven't that in daytime may very well have left. I think Pato lost a home run there as well.
Strike call to Blake Johnson. And the flag's out in center field. American flag and Ole Miss's 2022 National Championship flag. Just dangling.
They're blowing straight down. They're blowing straight down. That's why it's so hard to hit it out of the ballpark. That wind is blowing straight down. But yes, no wind tonight. Have to hit it to get it out of here.
Well, I don't think they would throw it to get it out of here. So hitting it would make sense.
That would make sense.
See, got you there. See, normally you get me with those jokes, so I had to get you. Tad high, 2-2.
That strike zone has been tight tonight for David Bailey. Especially up, not wanting to call anything up. JT Quinn multiple times tonight has wanted strike 3.
Just past Calarco into right field. And another 2-out base hit for Southern Miss.
Yeah, and that is a quality pitch of 2-strike hitting by Johnson. 3-2 slider. Keeps the hand, or kept the hands back. Just kind of punches it through the right side. That is really good hitting with 2 strikes.
Danny Lynch, 6'3" senior, Jupiter, Florida. One of the 7 returners that Southern Miss has this year in their offensive lineup. Pretty seasoned group this year for Scott Berry. 0 for 1 today. Seasoned group that expects to get back to a super regional and beyond. And when you have a veteran group, Keith, I mean, it makes those postseason runs, I don't want to say easier, but you feel better about them.
Well, experience always matters. I mean, there's no question that you get better the more you play. You've been through a lot of different situations, and as you said, these veterans have won an awful lot of baseball games.
Out to right, McCants drifts over, out number 3. Southern Miss leaves one stranded. Ole Miss on top. Not a lot of movement in the D1 baseball top 10. See on your screen, LSU, Stanford, Tennessee, Ole Miss, Wake Forest holding strong.
13-0, how about that?
Yeah.
Wake has not lost a baseball game.
I'm sure they're feeling really good about themselves. See Southern Miss, 8-3, hanging on. Started the year at 18, I believe. Moved up a couple of spots after they swept Dallas Baptist last weekend. New pitcher on the mound for Southern Miss, Chandler Dawson. And coming in for Colby Allen, the freshman who got the start today.
A Georgia State transfer. Fastball about 90 miles an hour, throw a curveball and a changeup.
However, if you're Colby Allen, you get through the first inning scoreless, end the day with 2 strikeouts. Those 2 runs for Ole Miss, I mean, that's 1 pitch. I should say 2 pitches, 2 runs. They were the long ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you come into the game and you say you're going to throw 2 innings, you're going to walk 1 guy, you're going to give up 2 base hits, you'd feel really good about it. Unfortunately for Allen, both base hits were home runs. So he leaves the game down 2-1, but 2 quality innings against this Ole Miss offense.
Jacob Gonzalez wanted all of that one. So if you're Scott Berry, I mean, are you impressed with Colby Allen? I know it was just 2 innings of work, but still, those 2 pitches, 2 little mistakes. But grand scheme of things, what do you think?
Well, I mean, I think that he went out and he was competitive, and certainly, kept his game. The game didn't get away from him, and as a freshman in this environment, I would think Scott Berry probably overall pleased with that.
Two and two to Gonzalez. Here you see Coach Berry, longtime head coach at Southern Miss. Chandler Dawson's second appearance this year. Also his first year at Southern Miss. Ball 4. Like Keith said, he was at Georgia State last year, 35 appearances, 12 starts. He was 6-6 in his career there, including a career high 9 starts last year. ERA was 4.6. That was a career low for him. Now he faces Ethan Groff. Groff 0 for 1 to start today's game. That hit him. I know he checked at it, so you're never sure if that hit the bottom of the bat, but that was all skin.
It certainly started to swing, and then it looked like it hit his forearm, and trainer Josh Porter going to come out and check on Ethan Groff.
Not the result you wanted for your first 2 batters.
Not the forearm. They're checking the hand. Ooh. And that is a difficult spot to get hit. You know, you got your fingers on the bat, and the ball hits it in 88, 90 miles an hour. That's no fun. Obviously, Groff telling some jokes. Might be Uncle Josh Porter laughing over there, so I would say that's probably a pretty good sign.
I'm sure getting hit with the baseball doesn't impact this, but, I mean, last year he did have a thumb injury. He got caught at the front of the first base bag. He tore the UCL inside of his thumb. But he's off to a fantastic start for Ole Miss. I mean,
it was considered a high-impact transfer. I mean, he was a guy in the portal that a lot of people wanted. Ole Miss was fortunate to get him, felt great about getting him, and he has been outstanding early this season.
You mentioned impact transfer. D1 Baseball's number 11 ranked impact transfer in their top 50. 2 on for Calvin Harris. Walked his first go around.
And for Chandler Dawson, kind of the nightmare start to this inning. He's already coming in top of this lineup that's swinging it so well. And you walk Gonzalez, you hit Groff. Now you got to face the heart of this order. A couple of guys on base.
Pops him up. Third base side. Lynch pursues. Makes the catch. That's a big first out for Dawson with runners on first and second base.
Yeah, nice job by Lynch, too. When you're playing at a visiting ballpark, sometimes it's real hard to know exactly where the walls are, where the dugout is, and see Lynch kind of feels his way in between the end of the dugout and that camera well. And as you said, that is a big first out for Chandler Dawson after a couple of free passes.
But it doesn't get easier, does it, with Kemp Alderman now at the plate?
No, but you got one out now. You're one pitch away, right? When you're out there on the mound, that's what you're always telling yourself. Get a ground ball, see if we can't get out of this inning.
Double play ball in effect as well up the middle. Tad high, 1-0.
But there's no question, it's one of the challenges, Jake, of facing this Ole Miss lineup is there's just no place to take a deep breath. There's no place to feel like, okay, wow, glad we got through that guy, because the guy on deck can swing it too.
Punches this one high, fairly deep to right center. Curls over to Pato, who makes the catch. And from second to third is Gonzalez. That ball started in the air to right center and just kind of sliced its way over to Pato and right.
Hang time's not something, a stat we keep with baseball, but that one had some real hang time. See a couple of guys for Southern Miss, a right-hander and a left-hander, been tossing.
And we were told we would see a lot of pitchers today for Southern Miss. Calarco with a solo home run in the second inning to tie the ball game up at 1. This was his last at bat.
Gets that fastball right down the middle, got ahead in the count, and That is what you love to see a hitter do when you get ahead and you get a pitch you can handle. Don't miss it. Clarko certainly didn't miss that one at all.
That was a missile, too, wasn't it?
A missile's the right word. Clarko, another impact transfer. Almost didn't bring in a bunch of portal guys, but certainly that success ratio seems pretty high right now.
Number 39, impact transfer by D1Baseball.com. Two and one. He had 7 RBIs in the Cambria Classic last weekend. He was selected to the all-tournament team. Disciplined hitter, and 5 RBIs against Minnesota. I mean, he's facing all of his former teams.
That short right field there had to be real appealing to the left-handed hitters, though.
Of course, a Northwestern transfer, so he had faced all those teams. Maryland, Minnesota, Nebraska, and bases are now loaded for TJ McCants. All the base runners this inning for Ole Miss via the walk or hit by pitch.
Yeah, I mean, it's, nobody's trying to throw balls, but certainly it's the one thing you don't want to do against this Ole Miss team. You want to make them earn it. And I think probably buying some time here and going to bring left-hander in to face McCants.
This is a player's mound visit.
And I think you'll see Christian Ostrander come out.
Yep. But Chandler Dawson started this inning. Came in for Colby Allen, the freshman. His 4th appearance on the mound this season for Southern Miss.
Good shot of Christian Ostrander, no question, one of the top pitching coaches in the country.
You know him very well. What's he saying right now?
Well, he's saying well, next time we don't need to walk so many guys, and I'm going to bring this lefty in to face a lefty. But no, really a tremendous developer of arms. Does a tremendous job.
Pitching change. Bases loaded. 2 outs. .62 senior Tyler Martin on the mound to try to get out of this bases loaded 2-out jam for Southern Miss.
Yeah, senior lefty. You see he's thrown 6 innings so far this year, the 7 walks, 7 strikeouts. Good arm, though. They'll throw that runner up there about 90 with the fastball. Slider's a good pitch for him as well. Has been brought in here to try to get a tough left-handed hitter. TJ McCants out for Ole Miss with the bases loaded.
Martin did throw last weekend against Dallas Baptist in the 3-game sweep the Golden Eagles had over DBU. Threw 2/3 of an inning, hit a batter, struck one out. Pitched in the last midweek game against Mississippi State, and that was a struggle for him. Walked 4 batters, allowed 3 runs off 1 hit. And trying to get out of this 3rd inning to keep it a 1-run deficit for Southern Miss. However, TJ McCants, no easy out. .333 batting average. Gone yard twice. 8 RBIs as well this season. Crowd didn't like that one. McCants in the first month of last season was hitting .348. Came into today hitting .343. So about where he was around this time last year. And by that I mean off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, how about hitting .343 and bringing your team batting average down some? This Ole Miss team hitting over .350.
Under this one, left side, out of play. Yeah, how would you feel? I mean, you're hitting .343 under your team's batting average. That's
probably not something most players look at, that team batting average. Most players do know what they're hitting. A lot of times you don't know what team's hitting.
He probably sees .343 and is elated.
Big pitch here for Martin, though. 2-2, this is the one you want to get him on. Don't want the base runners moving. That's going to be a balk right there.
Turned over at third. That's a balk. Run comes in. But the base running by Jacob Gonzalez.
Yeah, Jacob Gonzalez bluffs hard off third base, and it certainly looked like Martin flinched. Get a shot of it here. I don't know that he did walk right there. He stepped off. He might have moved. You can't move the hands before you step off with your feet, but watching live, I did think he balked. I'm not sure at all watching that he didn't. I think Scott Berry not agreeing either.
Can you review?
You cannot review that. You actually can't even argue a balk call. You can go ask what was called. Certainly Jacob Gonzalez got a reaction out of Martin and almost stole a run.
Croft at third, Calarco at second. There's this one to left. Parker gets the read on it. Makes the catch, but a balk with bases loaded scores Jacob Gonzalez. Ole Miss extends their lead.
After my wreck, I was hurt and my truck was totaled. I take one step forward and 2 steps back. So I got Gordon.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. We've seen this game 1,000 times. We know how to take on the big insurance companies, and we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve for your medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering.
Gordon got it done and got me $720,000.
Just call me. Get it done.
Call 888-8888.
How about your first year in the Sun Belt and you're favored to win the league? That probably leaves a poor taste in the mouth of the other schools that have been in the Sun Belt for years.
Yeah, look, that other group of coaches knew exactly what they were getting when Southern Miss was coming in this league, and that is why they were voted with 11 first-place votes as the top preseason team in what is a very good baseball league.
Fly ball to right. First pitch by Sargent. McCants at the track, at the wall. Makes the play. Long run for McCants.
TJ's got to go a long way, as you said on this one, and that ball's kind of fading away from him too, slicing a little bit. McCants gets right back towards the wall. Leaping catch. TJ, remember, came here as an infielder. Almost moved into the outfield, and he certainly found a home out there.
He's got the speed for the outfield, that's for sure. Makes plays like that look so easy. Robertson takes up and in. Just about to say, I mean, back to the Sun Belt. It's the reason why they call it the Fun Belt, right? There's so many competitive teams and schools. I mean, Southern Miss hosted a regional and super regional. Old Dominion, who's new to the Sun Belt this year, they had 41 wins last season.
Georgia Southern hosted, right? Didn't they host a regional last year?
Yep, Georgia Southern hosted a regional. Texas State went to a regional. They lost to Stanford in the regional final. And then Louisiana earned the auto bid and pushed number 8 Texas A&M. Then you also have Coastal Carolina.
Who won a national championship not too many years ago.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a very good baseball league.
Of the 31 conferences across the country, the Sun Belt's conference RPI finished 6th.
Yeah, I coached in that league for 6 years, and it was always 5th, 6th in RPI, and it was always a multi-big league.
Out to Groff in center. 2 fly ball outs to the 8-9 hitters in this Southern Miss lineup, and we're back topside to Matthew Etzel.
So when Christian Ostrander was my pitching coach at Arkansas State, we were never picked to win the Sun Belt Conference, so that was not a position that one of my teams was ever in.
Well, talking with him earlier, he loves where he's at, and I think you could just tell in his voice and just the energy.
Yeah,
I know you two have known each other for years.
Oz is a developer of pitchers. He's also a developer of men. I mean, he is really, really a good man and a good baseball coach and a dear friend of mine. And certainly has gotten his due over the last few years as being one of the top pitching coaches in the country, and rightfully so. Right now, he's just trying to figure out how to get a few more outs tonight.
Calarco flips to Quinn. Inning over, 1-2-3 for the first time tonight. Rebels up 3-1.
Invention is an act of determination to go where you couldn't before. The all-new Pilot Trail Sport, part of the Honda line of rugged vehicles.
Mom, can we get a puppy, Mom?
Please? Girls, pets are a big expense.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
Thanks, TV Dad. We'll think about it, okay?
Look what I found.
A puppy!
Oh, no.
I wish TV Dad was always in charge.
Listen to Your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Peyton Chanier's fourth home run of the season put the Rebs up 2-1 back in the second inning.
Yeah, fastball in a little bit, about thigh high, and Peyton Chanier takes a big swing at it. Certainly got the barrel to it there, and hit a no-doubt home run to left field, and at the time gave the Rebels a 2-1 lead, which is now 3-1 Ole Miss, bottom of the fourth.
Batting average now near 400 after that at bat. 4 home runs, 11 ribbies. Ole Miss on top of Southern Miss, 3-1. Swayze Field in Oxford. Series that dates back to 1916. A rematch of last year's Hattiesburg Super Regional. And Chatnier's given first base. Second hit batter tonight by Southern Miss's pitching staff.
Yeah, and Southern Miss, remember, last inning started off the third with a walk and then a hit by pitch, ultimately leading to a run on a balk. And we start off the fourth with a hit by pitch, and that shot of Christian Ostrander earlier, this is not exactly what he had in mind. He certainly wants his guys to fill up the zone, attack the hitters.
Will Furness faces Tyler Martin for the first time tonight. Check swing foul. And in between innings, Ole Miss fans were reminded how many earned runs Ole Miss allowed to Southern Miss in the Super Regional last year, with some between inning trivia. Chatnier moves up to second base.
Yeah, really good read by Peyton Chatnier, ball in the dirt. He's going before he sees if Johnson is able to handle it or not. He's reading angle of the ball. He sees it's going to bounce, and he goes. Good aggressive base running.
How many runs did Ole Miss give up in the Super? 0. So there were some cheers in between innings here. Cut and miss. That student had a very easy time. The crowd knew, and they were all shouting at him what the answer was.
It's always helpful, right? If
always
on those trivia, if there's one that the crowd knows.
Phone the crowd. Call a time.
And that's a clock violation. First of the night.
Let's look at it.
See this pitch clock in the bottom left. It goes to 0. And that will be a ball.
Two and two. Here's my, how do you feel about the clock setup, Keith?
Well, I think trying to increase the pace of play is obviously something good. I mean, it's something once guys get used to. Hopefully you won't see much of that.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Third strikeout for Southern Miss's pitching staff tonight.
Yeah, this is just a well-located fastball. Inner half, you can see just ties Furness up. Tries to bring the hands in to get the barrel to the ball, can't do it. There's a big first out for Tyler Martin.
His first strikeout tonight. Ethan Leger struck out back in the second. Holds the checked bat, but it's ball one. Rips this one up the middle. Lands in front of Etzel in center field. Chatnier's around third. 4-1 Ole Miss.
A couple of real quality plays by Ole Miss. First, obviously, you're looking at Leger. Gets that fastball out over the plate. Hammers it right back through the middle of the field. But Peyton Chatnier with a great read at second base. I mean, almost no hesitation. Because if he hesitates at all, as hard as that ball is hit, he's not going to score. He gives makes Mike Clement have an easy choice, coaching third base, to send him, and the Rebels have extended the lead to 4-1.
Leger's fourth RBI this season, 11 hits now for him. And Gonzalez sits on the first pitch.
Leadoff walk in the third comes around and scores for Ole Miss. Leadoff hit by pitch in the fourth also comes around and scores, and those are the ones that, those will give you gray hair as a coach. Those leadoff free passes.
Talked about the 1-2 punch of Gonzalez and Ethan Groff earlier, and this just confirms it. They're a great top two. As Gonzalez turns on this one into right center field. Cut off by Pato. On his way to third is Leger. Runners on the corners with one out.
And Jacob Gonzalez just continues to hit the baseball hard. Just consistently able to get the barrel to the ball. Fastball up and out over the plate. Again, he just all coils up and then the barrel flies through the zone. And certainly one of the better hitters in college baseball.
And Leger in prime position for Ole Miss here in the fourth. And another mound visit and perhaps another pitching change for Southern Miss. Yep, Tyler Martin's numbers. We'll tell you about the new Golden Eagle when we come back. Ole Miss up 4-1. Junior right-hander Isaiah Rhodes, McKinney, Texas native, out on the mound now for Southern Miss. Did not pitch last weekend in the sweep against Dallas Baptist.
You can see kind of a low arm slot. You watch Isaiah Rhodes warm up here. Not a full sidearm, but kind of a low 3/4. Kind of think that's going to give some run inside to a right-handed hitter, kind of away from a lefty.
He has pitched against Ole Miss before. In April of last season, through an inning and a third, allowed 2 hits, 2 runs. Walked and struck out a batter. And then in May, threw an inning and hit a batter. And that was it. So, no stranger to the Rebels. But he'll face Ethan Groff, who you see on your screen, with one out, runners on the corners, and you see Calvin Harris, number 2. He's on deck. So, with Ethan Groff at the plate, runners on the corners.
Certainly Southern Miss hoping Rhodes gets a ground ball here, try to get out of the inning. Facing one of the hotter hitters in the country. An opportunity for Ole Miss to open this one up a little bit.
Sends this one on a line to right. It's down for a base hit. Leger scores. On his way to third is Gonzalez. Groff's at second base. RBI double.
Yeah, this is some kind of piece of hitting right here. That is a fastball. Look at that run. That ball starts off the plate, ends up right on the outside corner, and Groff went up with a plan. I don't think there's any question. That plan was to take the ball away to right side, and it's an awesome piece of hitting right there by that young man. It was pretty locked in at the plate, Jake.
Sorry about that. I was just about to say his 20th hit of the year, and now he has 23 RBIs, which leads the SEC. So brings the runner in and puts himself in scoring position as Harris hits this one hard. Gonzalez scores. Here comes Groff. Ole Miss is doing a lot of damage here in the fourth.
Isaiah Rhodes is throwing two pitches, giving up a double, and then this fastball basically right down the middle. Calvin Harris gets the barrel to it again, finds a hole. The Rebels able to plate two more, and this one's starting to get away from Southern Miss.
A 4 spot here in the fourth for the Rebels. And Kemp Alderman takes ball one. A couple of flyouts today for Alderman. Wanted that one. Off the end of the bat, and it's fair. I don't think Alderman knew it was fair.
A nice job by Johnson realizing the catcher for Southern Miss. Able to hop on that one, and Isaiah Rhodes able to get the second out here in the fourth.
And that brings up Anthony Calarco. Homered and walked earlier. Back in that second inning. Led it off with a solo home run to right center. Second of the season. That tied the game, which now feels like forever ago.
This Ole Miss team being really aggressive early in the count right now. Going up ready to attack the baseball. Saw a couple of first pitch base hits with Groff and Harris. Calarco could swing on first pitch fastball.
Called a strike despite Johnson dropping the baseball behind the plate. 0-2. Six-run lead for the Rebels. Southern Miss. Calarco has 5 multi-hit games this year for Ole Miss. Looking for his 6th with this at bat. And a knock would probably bring home Calvin Harris. Southern Miss began the game on top. Bases loaded, ground ball error by third baseman Ethan Leger scored Dustin Dickerson from third. And since then, Ole Miss has scored 7 unanswered runs. 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 4 here.
I said in the intro, it's just such a difficult lineup, Jake, to get through multiple times. And you know when you start a game, you're going to have to get through it 3 or 4 times. And this is the 3rd time through the lineup, and certainly Ole Miss seeing it well.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Ole Miss scores 4 to go up 6. And Southern Miss lost Corky Palmer last August, a legendary coach, former Southern Miss catcher as well, guided the program from 1998 to 2009. 458 wins in his tenure. Took the school to their first ever College World Series in his final year in 2009, Keith. And
yeah, a fixture around that program. As you said, he played there. He was an assistant coach there. Then he went off as a head coach at Meridian Community College, came back as an assistant coach, and obviously led them to a College World Series appearance as the head coach. If you met Corky Palmer, you liked Corky Palmer. You just couldn't help but like him. Certainly got a lot out of his Southern Miss players, and he will be missed.
And you see the number 44 on the back of Southern Miss's helmets. They are wearing those stickers on their helmets to honor him. Also, they stenciled on the baselines his number at Pete Taylor Park for the year. Also, his seat down the first base line is gold. So you always know and remember Corky Palmer in a really awesome way to honor one of the greats at Southern Miss.
Corky could tell a story. He could entertain you.
Yeah.
He'd have you laughing if you talked to him long enough, that's for sure. And he'd go beat you on the field.
Jordan Vera, freshman, Miami, Florida native. Out on the mound for Ole Miss. Rebels fans have seen him a couple of times this year. You see it's his 4th, but that ERA is up there.
Yeah, sometimes those ERA numbers early in the season, not a lot of fun if you give up a run. He hadn't thrown very many innings, not very many appearances. Obviously the 4 walks and 5 1/3, more than what he would want. But another one of those Rebel freshman right-handed pitchers that's going to run it up there in a hurry with a hard slider.
Comes in for his freshman teammate JT Quinn, who started today as Dustin Dickerson steps in. Overall thoughts on JT Quinn's performance today? Only allowed the 1 run back in the first, and it was due to an error.
Yeah, had to battle hard to get out of that first inning, but was able to minimize again after the error. Only gave up the 1 run and then threw up 3 zeros. I think anytime as a pitcher you head to the dugout and your team's ahead, you feel pretty good about it. And that's certainly where JT Quinn is in a 7-1 game.
Dickerson ranked as the number 20 prospect in the Sun Belt by D1 Baseball. Had a 27% line drive rate last year. Led Southern Miss. Enjoyed a career year, 86 hits. Also 24 doubles. 32 RBIs. Had a fantastic year. And has continued that too, hitting .359 coming into today. Counts full. Chop to Chatinier. Low throw, scooped by Calarco.
Chatinier laughing right there. Knew he didn't get quite enough on that throw. Happy that his first baseman was able to pick it.
Looked like he threw from his back foot, didn't it?
Yeah, when you're going really hard back up middle at second base, sometimes your momentum is going so far away from first base, you have a tendency to be a little bit short with your throw. That's why you went to first base and working on those scoops and picks.
See Tate Parker's numbers. And 0 for 1 today with that walk. Flies this one out to right. And McCants tracks it down. 2 quick outs for Jordan Vera. However, Southern Miss with 2 outs. They'd gotten singles back in the 2nd and 3rd inning, but Ole Miss pitching able to get that 3rd out without any damage. They're putting the bat on the ball, Keith. They only have 1 strikeout today.
Remember last time out, JT Quinn struck a bunch of guys out with that slider. Southern Miss, as you said tonight, able to put it in play, just not able to do much damage.
Slade Wilkes at the plate, 0 for 2 today. Southern Miss with 3 hits so far in this game. Not what they did last weekend. Boy, they were great offensively. Outscored Dallas Baptist 13-6. In Sunday's game, they won 7-2.
Scott Berry looking for a little more offense right there.
Popped him up. Harris behind the circle. Makes the play. Tough one, too, for Harris. Ole Miss up 6. SEC preseason coaches poll, western part of the conference. LSU, A&M, Arkansas, Ole Miss, Alabama, who's the only unbeaten team so far in the SEC. Auburn and Mississippi State also getting a win against Southern Miss. And you see national champions in 2022 special year for Ole Miss. So a lot of expectation coming into this year for the Rebels.
Yeah, some talented teams on that Western Division. Certainly LSU on paper about as good as you'll see in college baseball. They are loaded. A&M's kind of been up and down early this season, but I think a lot expected out of a team that was in Omaha last year. And number 3 and number 4 in that list were in Omaha as well. Arkansas and Ole Miss. Every year, man, those SEC weekend battles are a war.
Can't wait for those to get underway here in the next couple of weeks. McCants puts a charge into this one. Deep right field. Cue the showers.
And Ole Miss continues to attack early in the count tonight. Jay McCants got one he can handle. Looked like it was down. Yeah, about knee high. And I mean, I'm not sure TJ can hit the ball any better than that.
One pitch, 1 run.
A lot of first pitch hitting tonight for Ole Miss and a lot of good swings.
Reaction from Isaiah Rhodes, who came in to relief in this relief outing back in the 4th. Peyton Chotnier also has a home run today. He scored twice, hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning, where Ole Miss put up 4 runs. Now have an 8-1 lead. Lynch at third. Makes it easy, 1 out. And Will Furness comes up to bat. You know, and against Dallas Baptist, too, Keith, I mean, the pitchers felt pretty good for Southern Miss because they did their jobs. I mean, in the series opener, they won 4-3, so some close games. 2-1 victory last Saturday, then 7-2, so the pitchers were feeling pretty good. They felt like they boosted their own self-confidence because they could hold their own if the offense wasn't doing what the offense needs to do.
Well, it's a team sport, and sometimes you got to pitch to win, sometimes you got to hit to win, sometimes you do a little bit of both. That's Christian Ostrander right there. Again, just trying to figure out how he's going to piece together 9 innings tonight. They knew they were going to go through a lot of guys, and they certainly knew it was going to be a challenge against this Ole Miss offense. Obviously weren't hoping to be down 8-1 in the 5th. And you're going to see some different arms in these midweek games than you see on the weekend as well. And that's the same for both of these two teams.
And I will say, if this is a regional matchup down the line, Southern Miss is going to throw their best. And they have a couple guys, too, who they really, really like. Some returners. Even though they did lose a lot from last year, but they returned Tanner Hall, who's a stud for them on Friday nights. But they lost 5 pitchers to the draft. That's a good problem to have. Strike 3 called. Furness is rung up for the 3rd time tonight.
Yeah, I think Southern Miss record for pitchers drafted in one draft. Also had a transfer portal defection that didn't help the cause any, but no reload. And like I said, tonight hasn't been their night the first 5 innings, but it's a team on the weekends that's going to be really difficult to handle.
Leger had an RBI single his last time up. Chases that one way outside. In their last midweek game, Southern Mississippi fell 10-9 to Mississippi State. They led 9-6 going into the 8th inning.
Those hurt.
4 runs that inning, and yeah, fell by 1. They're in a dogfight with Illinois. They lost the series. Popped up by Leger. Robertson makes the squeeze. And a solo home run by T.J. McCants puts Ole Miss up 7. Fun night at the ballpark, getting cooler, but still enjoyable. Ole Miss scored 8 unanswered runs. Southern Miss has had their opportunities. You see they've left 6 runners on base today. But 4th-ranked Rebels in control of their regional foe here tonight. Jordan Vera still on the mound for Ole Miss. Back-to-back innings. Southern Miss has gone in order 1, 2, 3. And Pato swims through that one. A rematch of last year's Hattiesburg Super Regional. Ole Miss ended Southern Miss's season. It's now twice in back-to-back years that the Rebels have ended Southern Miss's season. In the Oxford Regional 2 years ago, and then of course last year. Three and 1. Rock to right. Deep right. It's out of here. Finally, Southern Miss able to get some kind of offense going.
Pato worked the count in his favor, goes 3-1, and with an 8-1 lead, Jordan Vera certainly challenged him, and Pato met that challenge. It's going to be a fastball, I'm sorry, Jake, right down the middle, and it is, maybe even up a little bit. When you know you hit it out, you know you hit it out. There's no question. That was going to be a big fly from the time it left the bat.
His first home run of the year. And that hits Blake Johnson. He has reached base now all 3 times today, Johnson. So a good start for Southern Miss here in the 6th. Brings up Danny Lynch, third baseman, 0 for 2 today. Line out to left, fly out to right. I mentioned Keith, I mean, Southern Miss, they've only struck out once today as a team collectively. They're putting the bat on the ball. Eventually something's going to fall, right?
That's certainly what you think. I mean, you'd obviously rather put it in play than to be striking out. It's an Ole Miss team that's had some strikeouts from their pitching staff. For Southern Miss right now, you're just trying to figure out a way to inch back in it. You don't have to get all 6 or 7 back here. I guess it would have been 7 leading off the inning. 6 down now. Just cut into that lead. Keep trying to put more and more pressure on Ole Miss.
Lynch down, 0-2. He was 1 for 7 last weekend against Dallas Baptist. However, worked 3 walks in the series. Team captain for a 2nd straight year. Right between the wickets of Calarco. On his way to 3rd is Blake Johnson, and he's there. And runners on the corners. We were raving about this defense this season, Keith.
Yeah, and Clarko gets off the bag, and this can be a difficult play because you're trying to move off and gain some ground off of first base and just simply doesn't get down in time. It could have been a double play ground ball. Instead, it goes into right field. Now it's 1st and 3rd. Southern Miss an opportunity certainly to inch their way back into it.
Nobody out and runners on the corners for Christopher Sargent. Line out to left, fly out to right. Pops up, first pitch. Who's got it? Calarco. Pops out of his glove. From 3rd to home is Johnson.
I think it's foul ball. I don't think that one's...
Yeah. It goes back to 3rd.
Really, that's an error on Clarko as well. Sometimes they don't charge those foul balls, but that is extending a bat on a play that should be made. Ball was way up in the air, and Clarko was fighting it the whole time. You could see that, and just unable to secure it.
One and one.
At this point, the official score has not called that an error.
Sargent hitting 128 coming into tonight. Gets under another one. And Gonzalez and Leger almost run into each other.
Bit of an adventure on pop-ups. That's back-to-back. A drop pop-up at first. And I mean, that was sky. There's no question. Sargent got that ball way up in the air, and really fortunate right there for Ole Miss they make that play. That was not one where somebody got called off and the other guy caught it. That was 2 guys fighting for a ball, and Jacob Gonzalez makes the play. Jacob Gonzalez a little bit taller than Leger, and ultimately that's why he caught it.
The wind has picked up. No, we showed earlier the flags were not moving at all. And Keith, as you said, the wind was blowing from up.
Straight down.
Straight down.
Yeah, a little bit of wind blowing in, but the wind's not what was going on there. That's just high pop-ups on a night game. And sometimes guys make it look easier than it is to catch those high ones. And Ole Miss was not making those look easy.
Robertson took a first pitch strike, and now Now Harris wants to go out to have a chat with his freshman pitcher, Vera. Mitch Morrell getting loose. We've seen a lot of him this season. One and one. Softly hit the shallow center, and it drops. Base hit. Now Blake Johnson can touch home plate. 2 runs this inning for Southern Miss.
Slider, I think this one's even off the plate. Yeah, that ball's off the plate. Robertson able to reach out and get just enough of it to dump it in over Gonzalez's head. And Southern Miss scores that run from third base and continue to get closer and closer. Now just a 5-run lead. Still in scoring position and still just 1 out.
This was an 8-1 ball game coming into the 6th. And top of the order at the plate. Punch to right center by Etzel. Gets down. Around third. Here comes Lynch. No play at the plate. 3 across for Southern Miss here in the 6th.
This ball is up some right here. Looks like maybe a slider right there. Just doesn't have much break to it. And Etzel, who we talked about earlier, real impact transfer for Southern Miss, hammers that ball to right center field. And Mike Bianco, I think, has seen enough out of Jordan Vera, who didn't get a lot of help out of his defense this inning. I think that's going to do it for the night for Mr. Vera.
Looks like Mitch Morrell coming out of the bullpen for Ole Miss. Vera's numbers, inning in a third, couple of runs across as well, as Ole Miss's lead is now 8-4, 3 across for Southern Miss. Mike Bianco summons his senior from Ocean Springs, Mississippi, Mitch Morrell. Go to the veteran right-hander.
Yeah, the senior, 5 appearances, 1-0, 3.86 ERA, just over 9 innings pitched. We like that strikeout to walk ratio, though. 14 strikeouts, 2 walks for Mitch Morrell.
You see his 9 1/3 innings of work, career most for Mitch Morrell this season. The SEC Now crew will be at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville for the SEC Men's Basketball Tournament. Pre-game and post-game coverage starting Wednesday night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central. You can always watch these as well as every game on the ESPN app from anywhere. Crazy to believe that it is March and Ole Miss men's basketball playing South Carolina tomorrow night to start the SEC men's
Open up the SEC tournament, and it is March Madness time.
Yeah.
It's officially that time. Conference tournaments, then the NCAA tournament. There really is no better time of the year as a basketball fan than that opening weekend, the NCAA tournament.
Ole Miss women's basketball awaits where they will play on Sunday. Southern Miss, both men's and women's basketball, had a very successful regular season. I believe one of the biggest turnarounds across the country for Southern Miss men's basketball. If I read that correctly, my memory serves me right. Tugged down the line. This is going to do some damage. Dickerson hits this one into the corner. 1 run is in. Robertson, and staying at third, Etzel into second base is Dickerson.
Yeah, it looks like Dickerson just sitting on breaking ball first pitch. I mean, he is not fooled at all. That ball is up in the zone. Dickerson hammers that ball down the third baseline. Nice job by Ole Miss. Alderman able to get that ball in quickly enough to keep Etzel from scoring.
So after Ole Miss scores 8 unanswered runs from the 2nd to the 5th innings, Southern Miss scratches 4 across here in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, like 3 hitters ago, I said Southern Miss, hey, just inch your way back. You don't have to get them all. Right now, Southern Miss thinking, we're going to get them all. Opportunity, one base hit away from this being an 8-7 game.
Parker sits on that one. 1-1. This has become a different ball game. I'm just about to say, Mitch Morrell has been one of the more consistent relievers this season so far for Ole Miss. Then again, tough situation with runners on, one out.
Yeah, facing the heart of the order. I mean, you're talking about 2, 3, and 4. Feels like a real big opportunity right here for Southern Miss. Though. You want to get at least one more. You got that man on third, less than 2 outs. You don't want to leave him out there. It's a ground ball right here. It's going to score one more run. Just put the ball in play. We talked about they haven't struck out much tonight. Certainly don't want one right here.
Out of play, 2-2. And you just saw Slade Wilkes on your screen too a moment ago, the DH. He's 0 for 3 tonight. In fact, the only Southern Miss player to strike out. He's hitting .455 this year. You could tell he's probably salivating on deck, ready to contribute. Full count to Parker. Bases are loaded for the cleanup hitter, Slade Wilkes. Just the third walk issued tonight by Ole Miss. They do have 2 errors tonight, too. One of those errors affecting this 6th inning. And more action going on for Ole Miss. Jackson Kimbrell, number 24. And Sam Takoyan, 47, now grabbing a baseball. And Mike Bianco out of his dugout and goes to the bullpen again.
Got to go that left-left matchup.
So Morrell's night is done with bases loaded, 1 out. And the big lefty Slade Wilkes at the plate. Tell you about Kimbrell when we come back. Ole Miss goes to the pen once again in the 6th, and Jackson Kimbrell now on the bump. Another experienced arm on the mound.
Yeah, veteran left-hander, and certainly his job right here is to get the difficult Slade Wilkes out, also left-handed hitter. Kimbrell doesn't blow you away with the fastball, but it'll occasionally tick up in the upper 80s, maybe touch a 90. But he can certainly be difficult on lefties, and that is his job right here. Figure out a way to get the Rebels out of a mess in the top of the 6th inning.
His 3rd appearance this season, 3.86 ERA. Saw his numbers on your screen a moment ago. 2 1/3 innings of work, and of course, that's who he will see. Wilkes. Strikeout, ground out, pop out today. The lone strikeout victim for Southern Miss. But he can swing it. The reason why he's in the 4 spot. He was 5 for 10 last weekend against Dallas Baptist in that 3-game sweep. 2 RBIs as well. He also torched Illinois in late February. He was 7 for 12. Number 12 ranked prospect in the Sun Belt by D1 Baseball. His .455 average sits on top of the SBC. Bases loaded, 1 out. Nubs this one off the bat, foul. And he's down on the count, 0-2.
Jackson Kimbrell doing exactly what Mike Bianco wants him to do. Come in, throw strikes, attack the zone. An opportunity here to get a really big out for Ole Miss.
Back to Kimbrell. Throws home to first. How about that? End the inning.
It doesn't get any bigger than this. Bases loaded. One hopper back to the mound. Kimbrell with the strike to Harris. Harris to first. And the Rebels get out of a mess.
4 runs across for Southern Miss back in the 6th off 4 hits and an Ole Miss error. However, a 1-2-3 double play for Jackson Kimbrell and Ole Miss's defense gets them out of a bases-loaded jam. We've got a ball game in the bottom of the 6th. 8-5, 4th-ranked Rebels on top as Nick Monaster comes out to pitch for the Golden Eagles. The right-hander, you see his numbers on your screen. The freshman in a big spot here with his team down now 3.
Yeah, scouting report says hard-throwing right-hander. We're going to see some low 90s, maybe even slightly better than that. And he comes into a game that suddenly is back into a game.
Jacob Gonzalez at the plate, 1 for 2 today. 2 runs scored.
Very few times in a game you score 4 runs in an inning and you feel like you lose momentum at the end of that inning, and that's kind of what that felt like. Southern Miss had gotten themselves right back in the game, had the bases loaded, and their leading hitter at the plate, Jackson Kimbrell, gets the big 1-2-3 double play.
What a big spot, too, for Kimbrell. I mean, not a guy that didn't pitch a ton last year. Making an impact in the early goings of this season. 2-2. Does a lot for a guy in your self-confidence.
Oh, there's no doubt. And certainly feels like maybe creating a role in there to be able to come in and be that situational left-handed pitcher. Can't do it any better than that.
Fly ball, left center field. Edsel on the run. He got there, I think. He did. Wow.
That was some kind of play. I mean, Edsel had to go forever to get to that ball. Reaches out, snags it. I mean, that is fantastic play and saved the leadoff extra base hit.
I mean, that's edge of the mitt.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to get there. That ball slicing away from him. You could just see it from where we were. It just didn't look like he's going to be able to run it down, and he certainly was able to.
Ethan Groff fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. As Monaster deals. 1-2. The freshman from Brandon, Mississippi. Graduated from Northwest Rankin High School, led his team to a 6A state title. Just 3 losses. And a very successful prep career. Won the state title after finishing 2nd in 2021. Strike 3 call, big second out. Gets the red hot Ethan Groff looking.
This is just painting the fastball here. Watch this. Down and away. Maybe a little more down. See from that angle, yeah, ball probably down a little bit. You see Ethan Groff surprised at that call, but when you're around the zone, sometimes you get those close calls.
Calvin Harris with a 2 RBI single back in the 4th inning steps up. Facing Monaster, who Class 6A Player of the Year by the Mississippi Association of Coaches. One and one. Sure, Southern Miss was very excited when he called to commit. Two and one. It's his 4th appearance out of the bullpen. Ole Miss has not gone in order offensively at all tonight. Harris works a full count.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of these games, and it just doesn't happen often. They just too many guys take too many good swings, and very few 1, 2, 3 innings.
On the ground, shallow right. Robertson squirts out of his mitt. It's a tough play for him, and I should say the shallow right fielder.
Yeah, it's a really difficult play again because the ball's transitioning from the dirt back to grass. Probably a little bit wet with dew at this point of the night. Robertson had an opportunity, there's no question. He got to that ball, was able to get it into his glove, but couldn't handle it. And Harris gets a base hit.
6 times this year, Harris has had a multi-hit game. Kemp Alderman wanted to send that to Mars.
We had a beautiful shot of the moon earlier tonight.
We did, and it was red, wasn't it? It was a colorful moon today. Down on the count, 0-2.
The wind is picked up again, just slightly blowing in.
Fists this one to left. Harris stays put at second base. Back-to-back 2-out singles.
And described perfectly, Jake. That is fisted. I mean, he just fights to get the hands inside. Look how far he brings those hands in, and he's just so strong. Just basically forces that ball into left field. And just when you think you might have an easy inning against this Ole Miss offense, here you are having to pitch out of a 2-out jam.
May have been one of few balls off Kemp Alderman's bat that wasn't 100 miles an hour this year. Calarco fouls that one off. Home run back in the second, his second homer of the season. A walk and a strikeout today as well. Turns on this one, off the glove of Sargent. Harris around third. Scores without a throw. And Ole Miss responds with 2 outs here in the 6th.
You always hear game of inches, and we've seen it twice this inning. Remember, Robertson almost makes the play deep out in or shallow right field, and here Calarco hits his ball hard, but certainly an opportunity for Sargent at first. That goes off of his glove. And with 2 outs, nobody on, Rebels put 3 straight hits on the board and extend that lead back to 9-5.
TJ McCants homered in his last at bat. He has Alderman at third and Calarco at first. His 3rd home run of the year. McCants off to a hot start. See his batting average on your screen too, 342. Pops up. Left side. 3 players want it. Out number 3. We've had trouble with those pop-ups today, but old Southern Miss gets out of it.
Kids are so expensive, Dad. Now Katie needs braces.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You can save hundreds.
I don't know, Dad.
Maybe try switching your car insurance to Progressive. You could save hundreds.
It's a great idea, TV Dad.
But I said the exact same thing.
Someday when you're a father, you'll understand.
I'm his father.
It's not a competition.
Listen to your TV Dad. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $700 on average.
Hey, Seth, you getting ready to roll?
Yep, road trip. And now that I'm rolling with Verizon, I get why more people choose it.
Nice.
And I got this incredible iPhone 14 Pro on them.
Oh, love the camera. So you got an amazing network and save money doing it.
That's how I roll. Oh, no.
You like your keys in the car again?
Yeah, I did.
Switch now and get iPhone 14 Pro on us. There's more. You get Apple Watch SE and iPad, all 3 on us. That's a value of up to $1,700. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Get the savings you want on the network you deserve. Verizon.
Ole Miss tacks on 1 run in the bottom half of the 6th. Little response after Southern misses four spot in the top half of the 6th. 9-5 ball game. 4th-ranked Rebels out in front. Jackson Kimbrell still on the mound for Ole Miss after getting a bases loaded 1-2-3 double play to get out of the 6th. And I mean, when 3 pitches he gets that double
pitches,
play.
that's right.
I'd say he earned going back out there.
Yeah, especially with the first hitter of this inning being the left-hander. I think that was an easy call for Mike Bianco.
Faces Carson Pato, solo home run to start that 6th inning rally. First home run of the year, now up to 6 RBIs. This was his solo shot to start that 6th inning.
Yeah, remember, ball up in the zone, and Pato was ahead in the count. And just absolutely hammered that one, no doubter, over the Ole Miss bullpen.
Well, we were, like you said, back in that inning too. You know, start small, start a little bit of a comeback. I mean, we didn't expect them to put up 4.
But certainly, I mean, again, that was kind of what you're thinking. If they get to 8-3, 8-4, 8-5, they're feeling pretty good. The problem is they got to 8-5, had the bases loaded, and the best hitter at the plate, 1 out. Kind of felt disappointing by the time that inning ended.
Sixth free pass given by Ole Miss's pitching staff today. And Mike Bianco back out of his first base dugout.
And that was probably Kimbrell's only guy this inning regardless, because the back-to-back left-handed hitters to end the 6th and start the 7th.
What that line doesn't show you is that big double play to get out of the 6th. But Sam Takoyan's coming in. We'll tell you about him when we come back. The 3rd freshman arm we're seeing tonight for Mike Bianco and Ole Miss's bullpen. Sam Takoyan, Fresno, California. Tall righty. He's got a lot of power to him, Keith.
Yeah, I mean, have you heard this before? We're going to see a righty, 6'5", that's going to throw it, 92, 94 miles an hour with the breaking ball in the mid-80s. A little deceiving ERA there. He's had some good outings, walked a few guys, but 2 strikeouts per inning. He's got some swing and miss stuff.
Did pitch last weekend in the Cambria Classic, inning and 2/3. Allowed 2 runs against Minnesota. And also faced Louisiana Tech in the last midweek. But Takoyan and the rest of the bullpen, and Mike Bianco said earlier, it sounds like coach speak, but honestly, I really do believe this. We're getting better. Not fantastic yet, but we're getting there.
And I think they will. I mean, this is a bunch of young, inexperienced arms that Ole Miss is counting on, and you can watch them, and they pass the eye test. I mean, they have certainly sharp breaking balls. They throw the baseball hard. They've just walked a few too many guys, and they corrected a lot of that. You see that only 2 walks in 11 1/3 innings, the Ole Miss bullpen up in Minneapolis. But the walk bug has come back a little bit again tonight, that free pass.
6 total free passes tonight. Ole Miss came into today having walked 63 batters, 2nd most in the SEC.
And it's just so uncharacteristic of a Mike Bianco team. But I think so much of that has to do with just a lot of inexperience, and you just hope those guys continue to get better if you're that Ole Miss coaching staff.
Nobody out. Runner on first for Sam Takoyan. Blake Johnson at the plate. And Takoyan misses high, ball 1.
Yeah, David Bailey, home plate umpire, has been very consistent at that ball just above the waist. That's going to be a ball tonight. It's a good shot of David Bailey, home plate umpire. The zone has seemingly been a bit small.
High fly ball to left. Hanging up there for Alderman. Had a lot of those just sky high into the night.
And right there, Blake Johnson's going to go back to the dugout thinking what could have been. That is a fastball right down the middle. He was on time, just barely up under it. It's one you feel like you had a chance to hit out of the ballpark. You just miss it, and you walk back to the dugout frustrated.
We've seen Kemp Alderman behind the plate in some of these midweek games, but not the case today. Now one of the corner outfielders after being DH last season. Danny Lynch takes low.
Yeah, very few teams swap their left fielder and catcher, and it's what Ole Miss does. When Calvin Harris doesn't catch, he plays left, and Alderman comes in to catch. Not something you see every day.
On Calvin Harris's journey, he had to find spots, and his bat was so good too that they wanted to include him, but they couldn't just because of who they had behind the plate last year. Just so happened to be one of the best catchers in program history. So Harris has seen some time in the outfield as well. 1-2.
Strike zone there, certainly extending some outside. It's difficult for a hitter when that ball off the plate's getting called a strike.
Two and two. Danny Lynch, in his lifetime against Ole Miss, came into today 8 for 33. 6 RBIs. Pays off here. And a home run against, a 3-run home run last year against Ole Miss. That was the game in Pearl these two teams like to have at the neutral site. However, was 0 for 4 in the Super Regional. Swing and a miss. Second out for Ole Miss.
Haven't seen Southern Miss strike out much. Right here, fastball away, probably just off the outer edge, but Danny Lynch knows that's bad. Those balls have been called to strike. Got to figure out how to put it in play somehow, and just unable to do so. I'll tell you what, as a hitter, when you're forced to swing at one you know is off the plate at 93 miles an hour, that is really difficult.
Christopher Sargent takes ball one. His average was 0.86 going into game 3 in that Dallas Baptist series last weekend. And he hit 2 home runs. His average coming into today was 128. The guy that had 21 home runs last year. The most by a Golden Eagle since 2019. Matt Wellner hit 23 that year. 7th career multi-homer game. 39 home runs, 2. Tied 9th in program history. Guy can hit the long ball.
Yeah, you know it's coming this year. I mean, at some point, he's just gotten off to a slow start. You certainly always hate when your beginning is rough. Long season opportunity, and he will continue to swing it.
Swings here. Takoyan gives to Harris. In time. Takoyan and Harris communicated for out number 3. Ole Miss on top 9-5. 9-5 advantage for Ole Miss. Top of Southern Miss. 22nd ranked Golden Eagles have only won 14 times here in Oxford. And are down 4 as Luke Trahan, the junior from the Woodlands in Texas, comes out for his 4th appearance this season.
0 ERA will play, right?
Absolutely.
That's a good number.
Absolutely.
Dallas Baptist transfer. He's got a good arm. He's going to run it up there in the 90s. At least that's what the scouting report says. And you see, 6 in the 3rd inning, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. His job is to try to get another 0 up there.
Actually threw against his former team, Dallas Baptist, on Sunday. Walked a batter, hit a batter, inning in the 3rd innings of work. Second outing was against Illinois. Struck out 5 batters in 4 innings. Faces Peyton Chatinier. We were told we would see a lot of Southern Miss pitchers today. This is their 6th of the evening.
Looking in that Southern Miss bullpen, it does not look like 6 will be the end of the night.
2 more warming up out there?
That's what I see. That's a good shot. Right-hander and a left-hander.
Cross Sibley, J.B. Middleton. Sibley, redshirt freshman. Middleton, a true freshman. May see pitchers 7 and 8 in our future. Off the end of the bat and drops in there. Chatagnier with the 2-hit day, including a solo home run back in the second.
And Chatagnier stays with the breaking ball right there. You called it off the end of the bat, but sometimes it's good hitting. Keep the bat in the zone long enough when you're fooled to be able to dump it over an infielder's head.
Sixth multi-hit game this season for Chatagnier. And the freshman DH Will Furness comes up. 3 strikeouts today. Went down looking in his last at bat. Batting average now down to 290. Came into today hitting 321. Chatagnier back in time. No count to Furness. Two on and nobody out. First walk of the day for Trahan. And his 3rd walk of the season. Looks like we're going to have a pinch runner for Furness. Riley Maddox. Another pinch running stint for him. His 3rd time this year, I believe.
Pitcher rehabbing a Tommy John injury. Obviously, this Ole Miss staff thinks he can run a little bit, and as you said, we've seen him a couple different times pinch running.
Put out a tweet, I believe, last week that he's getting there. About 70%, I believe. Something that Ole Miss fans can be excited about. Also, Hunter Elliott. Good news for him, mid-April return.
Certainly those were 2 big pieces to the puzzle. If they're able to get back before this season's over, that would be a huge plus for this Ole Miss team.
Oh, that hits Leger. Bases are now loaded with nobody out. And that brings up Jacob Gonzalez with a grand slam this year.
Also going to bring out Christian Ostrander, and he's going to make the call to the bullpen, and we're going to see a lefty face Gonzalez.
Another call to the bullpen. Pitcher number 7 for Southern Miss this evening. Bases loaded, nobody out. We'll tell you who it is when we come back. Ole Miss in control 9-5 as we look at Trahan's numbers as he goes back to the dugout. From Sumrall, Mississippi, freshman Cross Sibley, 5'11". Freshman left-hander to face the left-hander for Ole Miss, Jacob Gonzalez. Bases loaded, nobody out. Big spot here for the freshman.
Yeah, certainly Southern Miss needs to figure out a way to keep this one at 9-5 or something close to 9-5. And That's going to be difficult. Bases loaded. Jacob Gonzalez at the plate. And Siffley is a freshman. He's going to be facing, as we just said last at bat, one of the better hitters in the country, and Jacob Gonzalez.
If you're heading to the SEC men's basketball tournament this week, stop by the sun-kissed SEC Fan Fair. There's going to be some live music, giveaways, interactive games, and a lot more. This is happening Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday across the street from Bridgestone Arena in Nashville. It'll be a good time, so stop by. Always a good time in Nashville, outside Bridgestone Arena. It's going to be a fun weekend. It's a fun SEC women's basketball tournament, and men's tournament will be equally just as fun this weekend.
You ever been to an SEC basketball tournament? Never been?
You know what? I haven't. I've only been in the SEC since October, so
I don't know if you'd ever made a trip another time.
One of these days, maybe.
A lot of Big Blue fans there.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Kentucky likes to go to the SEC basketball tournament.
Well, you'd figure all the Nashville alums would, not a lot of them sure can make it to Lexington. I'm sure Ole Miss fans will show out for the tournament opener against South Carolina. Gonzalez takes a first pitch ball. Single back in the fourth inning. Punches one to left center field. On the run, Parker. It drops in front of him. One run scores. Bases remain loaded.
A couple end of the bat base hits this inning. Remember, Chatagnier led the inning off with the end of the bat hit. Here's Jacob Gonzalez. He's fooled by the breaking ball. It just keeps the bat in the zone long enough. You called it right, just to dump it out into left field. And everybody moves up a base.
Didn't hang up there long enough for Parker to charge in to attempt to make a play at it. And Ethan Groff with an RBI double back in the fourth comes up. Came in at 73 miles an hour. Strike one to Groff. An average up to 408. Cambria Classic Tournament MVP last weekend up in Minnesota. And he's down on the count 0-2. Ball one. Mentioned Sibley went to Summerall High School. Had an ERA last year of .87. 3-1 no-hitter in his prep career. Only allowed 11 runs as a senior. Groff way out in front of this one. How about that for your senior year? You only allow 11 runs. And lead your team to a 23-7 record.
Yeah, if the first number in your ERA is a point something, then it's just all good.
Groff stays alive, 1-2. Perfect Game listed Sibley as the 5th best player in Mississippi in his graduating class. I'd say it's a good get by Southern Miss. Trying to get out of this bases loaded jam, nobody out. Fly ball to right. Pato on the run, a long run. Makes the catch. Tagging from third, Maddox.
Groff knows if he gets the ball in the air, he's going to get a run in. Nice shot by Pato. Throws that ball back behind Gonzalez. They almost steal it out right there.
Calvin Harris at the plate. Yanks this one. It's caught by Sargent. Steps on first. Double play to get out of the inning. 11-5, Ole Miss on top. Southern Miss threatened for a little bit in the 6th. Cut their deficit to just 3. They were down 8-3 at that point. Or I should say 8-5, rather. Excuse me. But fourth-ranked team in the country, Ole Miss, has responded with 3 more runs, and they're up 6. Sam Tacoyan still on the circle for Ole Miss.
Yeah, just not enough zeros on that line score for Southern Miss. I mean, Ole Miss just relentless at the plate. They scored in every inning but one tonight. Haven't had that huge blowout inning, but you just keep putting up numbers inning after inning. That leads to an 11-5 game.
They could have done a lot more damage, too, in the inning where they scored 4. They had bases loaded with nobody out. And Ole Miss was able to get a 1-2-3 double play with 1 gone to get out of that inning. Brady Faust, junior from New Orleans, pinch hitting for Creek Robertson here in this 9 spot. And is ahead in the count, 2-0. Robertson had an RBI single, so he's 1 for 3. Two and 2. It's just the 6th game played by Faust this season. Did not play last weekend against Dallas Baptist or that midweek 10-9 loss to Mississippi State. 1 for 2 this year. Pops up, foul grounds. There's Leger.
Pop-ups have been interesting tonight for Ole Miss. That one wasn't even way up in the air. Leger almost fell down catching it.
Back topside for Southern Miss. And you see Leger and the rest of the defense putting on the shift against Etzel. 2 hits today. He's 2 for 4 with an RBI. He's back in the 6th inning. Mentioned he went to Panola College 2 years. And in the summer, he played in the MLB Draft League. Hit .371, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs, and stole 25 bases. Want to get your name out in front of some MLB scouts? I guess that's the league to do it. League that's produced 86 MLB draft picks since 2021. Into the night sky, out and right. Chatinier and McCants share the outfield, and it's right fielder number 2, Peyton Chatinier, who makes the catch.
Yeah, there's no doubt when a ball is hit in the air on a fly ball to right, you don't expect the second baseman to be camped under it. McCants and Chatinier getting a laugh over that. McCants wasn't quite sure what to do. Chatinier was just standing there. That's the ball McCants is expecting to catch.
I mean, if he's got a read, you let him take it, right?
He was certainly camped under it. Don't call him off of it. Out number 2.
Dickerson fouls that one off. Preseason Sun Belt honoree. 6 for 28 against Ole Miss all time.
So he had a good night tonight.
Yeah.
On base 3 times.
Doubled back in the 6th. He was 1 for 8 in the Super Regional against Ole Miss last season. This is his 2nd multi-hit game against Ole Miss in his career. 2 for 5 in the second meeting between the two teams in the regular season in 2022. He also had a double in that meeting. Strike 3 call. Takoyan locks him up. Ole Miss grabs the bats, sub 6. Southern Miss jumped out to an early 1-0 lead to start our game today, but then Ole Miss scored 8 unanswered runs until the top half of the 6th. Southern Miss cut their 8-1 deficit to 8-5. And Ole Miss in these last couple of innings have strung together 3 runs. That's where we stand right now. We're into the home half of the 8th inning in Oxford.
Yeah, Southern Miss pitching staff that had given up 8 home runs in the entire season. They've given 3 up tonight. It's certainly been one of the stories.
Pitching staff, too, that's been pretty good for Southern Miss.
They just haven't been able to get off the field tonight without giving up runs.
Kemp Alderman comes up.
A scoreless first for Ole Miss, and since then, Ole Miss has scored in every half inning.
And granted, Southern Miss is facing the 4th best offense in the country, but their pitching staff, opponents were only hitting .208 against them coming into today. That was the lowest opponent batting average in the Sun Belt. And only allowed 54 runs coming into today. Second least in the conference. And only 68 total hits, the fewest in the Sun Belt. Alderman gets a piece of it, 1-2. For a minute there in that 6th inning, when it got close, Southern Miss was down 3. I mean, you thought we were going to be maybe in for a really, really good ball game. Check swing, he did not go around.
Yeah, the bases loaded double play. I mean, again, it just took away so much momentum in an inning in which Southern Miss had scored 4 runs. And then if you remember, Ole Miss goes back out, gets the 1 run on a couple of balls that could have been outs for Southern Miss, and just never have really been able to get back into it.
Hopper to short. Dickerson overthrows Sargent. First error of the day for Southern Miss.
Dickerson came to get this good. He gets the right hop. It looked like maybe a little bit of trouble getting the ball out of his glove. And then what happens as an infielder, you look up, and Kemp Alderman's just closer to first than you think. He just runs better than people think he does because he's a big guy. So maybe 1 extra step, and Sargent kind of stretches so soon that he's not able to catch that ball. And it's a couple of errors tonight on each team on plays that you're just used to seeing the guys make.
Anthony Calarco takes a first pitch strike. 2-hit day for him, including a solo home run back in the 2nd. RBI single in the 6th. Out to left. Parker in front of the track. Out number 1. And that wind's coming in now, especially right where Calarco hit it. So, like you mentioned earlier, the ball really doesn't travel well here at night. Definitely not blowing straight down tonight.
No, there's enough wind now to have a little effect on the ball. There's no question. And just typically at night here doesn't carry as well as it does in the day. That was a good swing by Calarco.
He's now 2 for 4 tonight. TJ McCants 1 for 4. Solo home run to the leadoff in the 5th. 3rd homer of the season. TJ's home run from earlier.
Yeah, ball down in the zone. TJ went down and got it. Just kind of dropped the barrel on it. Once again, a no-doubter. And that time, TJ McCants ran all the way around. He didn't admire it in the box.
Certainly went viral admiring him. But he admitted to it post-game. He said,
he said he didn't think he'd do it again.
Yeah.
He did not do it there.
He owned up to it. He said he admired his His home run against Maryland, a little too much. It's a half-hearted swing. Yeah, when game day picks up your home run, I'd say it's a pretty viral moment. I also didn't know that the game day account would pick up a home run. I figured they'd be fixated on football and I guess now basketball. But hey, if game day comes to college baseball games, Keith, I'm all for it.
I hear you. I've been wondering when someone's going to put a road show and pick the big college baseball weekend of the year.
On a line to right, up in the air enough for Pato to make the catch. Throws to first. They double up Alderman. End of the 8th, we go to the 9th with Ole Miss up 11-5.
Dion, hand it over. Now, how does that make you feel?
Like a part of me is missing.
Gabby, how does that make you feel?
Oh, I feel moisturized. This Oat Spice Fiji hand and body lotion has me smoother than ever. So.
That's what it does.
Dion,
I'm gonna need a minute.
you take as much time as you need.
That's our time.
Switch to Verizon and get Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line, guaranteed for 3 years. And you can keep your own phone.
I love puppies. Well, I love that I switched to Verizon. My other network used to drive me crazy.
Yeah, I love that we both got an awesome network and save money doing it.
I know, $25. But I love...
Hey, we're sitting on a sign here.
That's Welcome Unlimited for just $25 a line. The savings that last on the network you want. Verizon.
Fourth-ranked Rebels up 6 on number 22 Southern Miss. Midweek action tonight in Oxford. And Rebels on top. Cole Ketchum, freshman from West Point, Mississippi, out there on the mound. He's had a couple of appearances this season for Ole Miss.
You see the numbers, 3 2/3, 2 strikeouts, 1 walk. Teams put the ball in play against him, but they hadn't had a lot of good swings on it. Changeup's a really good pitch for him. Throws hard enough, certainly upper 80s, maybe touching 90. Changeup is an effective pitch. His job is to try to get the last 3 outs tonight. Get Ole Miss a big midweek win over Southern Miss.
And pinch hitter. Well, never mind. But Ketchum, one thing you didn't see on that graphic we just showed, no runs allowed in 3 2/3 innings. As
you're right, it is pitching.
Yeah, Reese Ewing. Should have, again,
stick with it, man. Remember, like when you're taking a test, right? You stick with your first answer.
This is the biggest open note test in history of open tests.
Yeah, I mean, dude did have a number on him on deck. Nice first pitch changeup right there. Again, it is a really good pitch for Ketchum.
Mobile, Alabama native. Comes in for Tate Parker. 0 for 2 today with 2 walks. Back to Ketchum. Out number 1. And another pinch hitter for Southern Miss. Graham Crawford. In for Slade Wilkes. Southern Miss starting to give some at-bats to guys who, they just want to see swing the bat, see what you're made of. Summerall, Mississippi native. See his numbers, though. He hasn't really recorded much. He's only had 1 at-bat this year. Came from Pearl River Community College. Teammates with Tate Parker, who he's pinch hitting for, and also Ole Miss's Cole Tolbert. Those 3 actually came together Before Ole Miss took batting practice, they caught up for a little bit. Former teammates and NCAA national champions. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, that changeup is just so good. I mean, hitter swinging at it. It's like the ball stops on him as you start your swing. That arm speed looks like a fastball. It is such a tough pitch for a hitter to adjust to.
Swing and a miss, out number 2. That is just the 3rd time tonight Southern Miss as a team has struck out. Yes, 3rd time. Carson Pato, home run to begin the 6th. A couple of free passes today. It's 1 for 2. Pato was a guy that redshirted his first year. Coach Barry said he was a guy who swung and missed the whole fall.
That's a quote.
He went off the summer ball, had a pretty good summer. Came back in the same stuff. Swing and miss just a lot. And Coach Barry said, man, you may have to go to JUCO after this year to get it together. It works a 4-pitch walk. But then Scott Barry said, you know what, I'm just going to put him in the lineup, see what happens. And he hasn't come out since. Rodrigo Montenegro, a junior from Guatemala. Down on the count 0-1. 1-1. In for Blake Johnson, who reached on an error, singled, and was also hit by a pitch and scored today. Counts 2-1.
And suddenly Ketchum having trouble getting the ball over the plate. First 2 hitters was just filling it up.
On a line to third, Leger makes the catch. Ball game. And Ole Miss takes down a regional rival. Southern Miss 11-5 here in Oxford. In a game where Ole Miss offensively dominated, and they improved to 11-2 overall. Southern Miss falls to 8-4. David Diller directed it. Jim Holder produced it. For Keith Kessinger, I'm Jay Kermata saying so long from Oxford. Once again, our final score, Ole Miss takes it 11-5 in Oxford. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.